Okay, so this one's a bit of a shocker to me. It was a shocker to a lot of people. Ripped the band-aid off. Cinder and her manager redacted, manipulated, and sabotaged artists and VTubers for their own personal benefit.
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Kinda gross, kinda nasty, trifling as fuck.
Heart. But I learned an important lesson. You can't count on anyone.
Definitely makes this video a bit funny though, and ironic. Ironic, the right word?
StaticTokyo-san, bye!
Now, there is multiple documents that this video is based off of. One by Nano.
Acceptance, love, and...
Venus!
Bao.
Who's that? Who's this? Is that a werewolf? Is that a fucking werewolf?
Silver.
Hello, your house is so beautiful. I think he's the quiet type.
Spite.
Should we have an ass? Should we have not an ass? Whoa, what?
And Rain. And Saccamore. I forgot to say it in the video, but yeah, I did go over Saccamore's too. I might miss some things, so all my sources will be linked in the description. Remember that I'm not a news nigga. Make your own conclusion and opinion, and tell me what you think in the comments. Alright, so basically, Nanolist, an amazing artist by the way, shared her experience with Cinder and Cinder's manager, Redacted. Now, Red, we're gonna say Red for short, and Cinder are kinda fused because they've been working together for years, and as we will learn later, or technically right now, Red and Cinder are also dating, so it appears to be a team effort here. Red and Cinder would actively talk shit about other creators, and the creators I'm talking about are like pretty big, and some of which is also Cinder's friends. Air quotes. For example, they said Bao has been getting on their nerves for a while now, that Bao hijacked their YouTube video editor.
Lying.
When in actuality, Shylily just commissioned him for one stream highlight per month due to her knowing the significant role he plays for Cinder as an editor. They also said that Bao is commissioning artists that they work with, and that they got to know her better being friends with her, but she really rubs them the wrong way. Now, listen.
Let me speak to the people, Piccolo.
If someone rubs you the wrong way, why would you be friends with them? They also said they wanted to safeguard, which feels like a fancy way to say gatekeeping, their most important artists from Bao, one of which happens to be Nano, but we will get into that later. They also think Bao told the person that edited her music video, Saccamore, to not work with them, when that wasn't the case at all. Bro just went to Bao and asked himself for an exclusivity deal and to remain anonymous because bro wanted to work on his own shit and did not want to be known as just an editor and take on more jobs as an editor. They go even further by saying that Bao had a string of original songs last year and they flopped. One, kinda funny considering Cinder made this shit.
As a virgin boy, don't get nervous. Hi, I'm here to serve you customer service.
Holy shit. This is hot garbage.
I'm sorry you had to hear it, but I had to hear it too, so. I'd rather listen to this though. That's just me though. That's just me. This is more of a slap in the face considering Bao was suffering from TMJ pain, which led to her jaw not being able to open properly to the point she needed to get fluid drained so she was able to, you know, open it properly, which Cinder knew about considering that she was supposed to be a close friend to Bao. So I'm definitely gonna clown on this shit show of a quote-unquote metal cover, because Cinder had no issue with sabotaging her friend in the pursuit of precious clout. At TwitchCon, the editor Saccamore met with them and was cool working with them and was quote-unquote jumping through the hoops to get something planned. This is a overstatement, because in actuality, Saccamore did decline Cinder and Red multiple times due to his schedule being full, and bro only accepted when they offered double the pay.
You son of a bitch. I'm in.
Get that paper. He also made it seem like it was just Saccamore they spoke to at TwitchCon, but Bao was literally right there when they were speaking and even supported the idea of Saccamore doing work for them. Saccamore did end up completing Cinder's music video on time, even when he was getting all the things he needed to complete the edit sparingly, and even skipped going home for Thanksgiving after having a family member pass to get it done in time, just for Cinder to sit up here and say, stream got pushed back because the video wasn't done. Which is like, I'd be on King Von timing if someone said that shit to me. But with this being said, they are trying to spin the narrative that Bao got jealous that her songs didn't do as well as Cinder's, and then went to Saccamore and told him, hey, don't work with Cinder anymore. When for one, we know that wasn't the case from looking at Saccamore's document. They also try to say that Bao made Saccamore tweet about only working for Bao. That also not true. Bro just tweeted that out so people don't reach out to him for work. And then they go on to say that Bao is now after their Life 2D animators and Nano. They're obviously saying all this to Nano to sway Nano's thought process and when accepting commissions from Bao in this case. Now, back in March of 2024, Bao announced that one of her subathon goals was a Live 2D model, with Nano being the artist. However, Cinder and Redacted did not like this shit at all. They actively, on some Joker level shit, sabotage Bao, which resulted in Nano canceling her model, which is like actually crazy that you can do that to someone and then act all buddy with them on stream and video. Like, dude, I would be so, if I was Bao, I would be so pissed. Now, in Bao's perspective, Nano got the design and base model sketch done, and then there was a sudden back and forth on if Nano had the physical and mental capacity to keep working on the model, which is believable considering that Nano was actively working on a bunch of shit during this time. When in reality, Red was actively telling Nano to deadass stop working with her. Also using Bao's status as a way to make Nano feel better for canceling her commission by saying like, oh, she has a lot of connections or whatever the fuck. It's actually kind of crazy. Even went as far as telling Nano to charge half of the price for the design when Nano was gonna give it to Bao for free as an apology for canceling.
Man! What did he do to make them niggas that mad?
Did Bao spit in your cereal? Well, some people might actually want that. But why are you so mean? Bao was obviously sad about this, not knowing the real reason as to why. And while all of Bao's other friends are like consoling her because obviously she's going to her homies and talking about it because she's upset, Cinder was dead quiet.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device.
Because she knew she was on some snaky shit.
You're weird!
Redacted and Cinder also told her to stop working with Silvervale, even though Silvervale literally didn't do anything except decline Cinder's offer to collab. And this shit talk and drama that was fabricated and blasted onto Nano led Nano to cancel the model she was working on for Silvervale's birthday. How can you be so mean, bro? Why are you so mean? Why are you mean? Silvervale kind of got the hint that Cinder is a clout ladder climber, and Shotty simply didn't want to be used. It was cool talking with her privately, but didn't want to do anything that would have monetary gain.
It's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
They didn't even speak much to begin with, and Cinder also stuck to the friendly act by complimenting Silver's merch when she was literally the force behind her model getting canceled. Also, they were watching if Onigiri wants a model from Nano.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device.
Basically, what they tried to do was, during this time, was propose an exclusivity deal, but done in the worst way possible. Basically, the premise was if someone they didn't like or was on this blacklist goes and tries to commission Nano, Nano has to say no, then go to Cinder to have Cinder buy a piece of art from Nano, which is fucking weird.
Are you fucking
considering
dumb?
that some of these people is friends with Cinder? And when I mean some, I guess Bao in this case is friends, and Bao was on the blacklist, so we'll get to that. They even straight up spout bullshit to Nano, saying that if she makes new models, her older models lose value, which is just a fucked up thing to say. And also
Are you
wrong.
fucking dumb?
They also set up a blacklist, which I briefly showed earlier, that has Bao, Silvervale, and one other VTuber on it, is blinked out, with their reasoning behind that they don't want other creators to have what makes Cinder special, which is Nano's artwork. This is what we call textbook gatekeeping. Now, I'm going to be blunt here. Have you niggas seen Nanolist's prices? Shotty's clientele are only for the niggas that's really in this shit for real. You not popping like 10K out of your ass. No disrespect to Nano, by the way. Your artwork prices make sense to me at least. They even speak ill of Shylily.
A hole in my heart. Womp womp.
This right here is my favorite thing ever.
Now, I don't mean to sound like a glazer, but you can't be for real.
That's some bullshit.
They basically try to bring Nano into shit that has nothing to do with her, and efforts for her to stop working with certain people, this time being Shylily. Nanolist is currently working on a Shylily model, and Redacted comes in like, Hey, by the way, Shylily is acting weird towards Cinder. Basically, by leaving collabs they were both a part of last minute, not responding to messages, and not saying Cinder's name when she raids. Even though, when V cards were launched, they seemed chill. And now Shylily asking for an analyst model after all that seems weird. Redacted states that we, Cinder and Redacted, kept bringing Nano into drama. Even though, to be honest, they could literally just have, you know, not.
Stop it.
And then it now feels like they're going to have to compete with Shylily since they're going to have the same model artist. Why the fuck are you VTubing if you're viewing the space like this? Never in my life do I think a normal VTuber with a functioning brain, rare to come by but does exist, views their model siblings as competition. You're weird. Buddy. A Nanolist caught this and called it out, and Redacted did the whole generic, hey, it wasn't us, nigga. It is you. It's you. It's only you. It's definitely you. And at this point, Nanolist is rightfully so a bit annoyed and had enough of this shit, and tried to talk to Cinder, basically saying like, sorry I didn't do the quote-unquote exclusivity deal, and that she doesn't want to be dragged in on more personal issues, as Silver is still a client and that it makes her anxious. And that she still likes working with her and shit, but if things don't really work because of Silver, she understands. To which Cinder is like, I get you, but I get compared to her a lot and I don't want to live in the shadow, and that's why Red asked you to stop making models for her. And that it hurts when you said you understand if things don't work out because it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore. On some like Victorious Jade shit.
I can't believe how jealous you get.
Oh, so you think I'm ugly?
What?
It's kind of, it's like almost like it's like baffling. It's actually baffling how a person of this magnitude can act this way. Nano is basically like, shoddy, you're bugging if you dwell on being compared since you're so much bigger than Silvervale already. Which, is that true? Is Cinder really bigger than Silvervale? Probably not anymore. And that Silvervale wouldn't have priority over Cinder, and there isn't a model with her being discussed. And she is fine not doing Silver's model, but at least is cool with doing Gamer Subs art. And that she doesn't want to be an asshole for something she has nothing to do with. Nano then shows another instance that happened back in 2023, where they try manipulating her into thinking that her having more clients makes her work less special, and that working with Cinder is like more valuable.
That is not correct.
And they try using the whole it's just business excuse. Just fucking laughable. This is also where Nano was trying to see if Red like was conveying Cinder's wants or feelings properly, to which Cinder kind of confirmed that her and Red are on the same page. And Cinder herself also tried to like almost take credit for Nano's success in a way by saying things like, I'm so happy I was able to find someone to help your live 2D cutting to improve your skills, and I think that's a big part of why everyone loved the 1.0 model and then started asking you for them. Nigga, are we serious right now? Nano also had a conversation with Red a day before talking to Cinder, saying that she doesn't think it's fair for her to stop working for other people just to only do Cinder stuff, since she is a free artist, to which Red was like trying to spin it like Nano wanted more work from Cinder.
Why the fuck are you fucking lying?
And then doubling down that if she keeps making things for other people, her work is less special. Again, keep the clientele. Each your special, each go crazy. Don't disrespect the drip. Now, Cinder and Redacted definitely did damage control, or at least knew they were moving snaky, because they asked Nano, yo, you didn't tell Silver you canceled because of Cinder, right? Obviously, we know that Nano didn't. She said it was a health issue. Now, this is where spite comes into play.
Different message.
As she was clearly being talked about, with them mentioning Cyberpup. There's only one person I can think of. Keep in mind, Spite and Cinder never talk to each other. But due to people saying that they look similar, Cinder took that as competition and tried sabotaging Spite as well. Spite is a Cerberus, which is a type of hellhound apparently, just with 3 heads. Cinder is just a normal ass hellhound, and she definitely plays a part.
I don't know who it is, but somebody smell like shit.
Spite did have other wolf heads on her shoulders as pauldrons to symbolize the other heads, but you know, people didn't really peep the drip and kept asking, if you're a Cerberus, where are your other heads? Which low-key pushed her to use the Hellhound title as more of a broader term. People started to berate her and compare her to Cinder, so which Shoddy switched back to the Cerberus vibe, and obviously, due to what happened, Spite didn't really want to fuck with Cinder. They tried to claim Spite was copying and stealing Cinder's ideas, when in actuality, it might be the exact opposite. When Spite announced her 2.0 debut that is going to happen on 14th of May, Cinder then announced her 1.0 the day Spite was debuting her 2.0, the 14th of May. Keep in mind, Spite didn't know who Cinder was at this point, and the claim of Spite following her and unfollowing her to then steal ideas is a bunch of malarkey, considering that it's kind of impossible to copy someone that announced their shit the day that you're literally debuting yours. Now, the whole posting thing could be a coincidence, but then Cinder had a habit of kind of doing similar things as Spite the day of or shortly after. Spite had a new outfit made, to which shortly after Cinder gets an outfit with a similar vibe. Cinder also gets this merch for Ubu Market.
You know what this motherfucker look like, low-key?
Oh, look at that. A lot of follows and a lot of people.
Spite, back on April 29, 2024, designed a Greek goddess outfit on stream. However, about 4 months ago, so like December of 2024 to January of this year, Cinder comes out with an outfit similar. April 20th, 2024, Spite debuts a model by RUVT, which had a fire-ass hoodie, which had a design on the top and a bang covering one eye. Basically, a year after, on April 4th, Cinder also debuts, and I have to admit, a fire hoodie with the design on top with a bang covering one eye, the same eye. Could they be coincidences? Maybe, but I find it hard to believe it was a coincidence because Cinder and Redacted seemed keen to keep track on what Spite was doing. Also, in January 2023, Spite even got a DM from someone that also allegedly got hate from Cinder and Cinder's community because of the fire in the ears, and she was kind of worried for Spite. And yeah, that's basically the main thing. There's also a document by Rain that helps push the narrative that she uses people to get a leg up, as it appears that she was being a bit unloyal to Redacted back when she was Tashi in DVA stuff, and was being straight up flirtatious and just shit talking Redacted and saying things you wouldn't say if you were in a relationship with another VA that was bigger than her at the time. But the moment she popped off as Cinder, she didn't speak to him again. And as we know, I got a heavy bias against cheaters, so take that as you will. Link to all of this again will be in the description. Cinder's response right now is just that she fired Redacted as a manager, but I think they still fucking though. I don't think they broke up over this. I haven't slept since the 26th. It's now the 28th. If I don't sound enthusiastic, it's because I'm speaking without the embellishment. I'm tired. I want to explode. Now, in my opinion, this apology is immediately dead after the first statement made, where she is more so putting a lot of the blame onto Red. But what bugs me the most is that she says that Red's hyper business oriented outlook warped her view of what she should be doing and what is important to her. So this nigga's ideas based on business led you to be a dickhead towards your friends? Now, Cinder claims she wasn't aware of the manipulation Red was doing on Nano, but does say that she did want Nano's art to be the face of her brand, which is why her and Red came up with the plan to have Nano cut other projects to focus more on Cinder. Also, the name that was blacked out in the screenshot I showed earlier, that name was Cotton. So it's Bow, Cotton, and then Silver that were on the blacklist, by the way. Just to clarify. Alright, we're done. And that she truly only wanted Nano to not work with Silvervale. You hating ass nigga. And admits to being guilt trippy towards Nano due to her being upset, but still didn't want to force Nano to do anything. She claims there wasn't supposed to be lists and that she didn't even know about it, which I find hard to believe. Oh, I should also say, unlike every other document we went over, this has 0 screenshots. It's a block of text, which I find really weird. She also says she was ignorant to Nano and Red talking about Lily, and only told Red that she hasn't heard from Lily in a minute, and she states that she doesn't condone what Red said about Bao either. Dude, okay, basically, she doesn't know shit. She's trying to pin this all on her man's Red. She does admit to being upset that Bao hired her editor and took it personally by thinking that her content wasn't good enough or that she wasn't paying him enough. She says that she shouldn't have thought this way and got over it, but that Red kept a grudge. She was also upset with Saccamore when he said he was only going to work for Bao from now on, but then she puts it on Red again by thinking that Bao was to blame for it, saying that Red had a lot of ideas for Boss Rush, but it wouldn't work without Saccamore, which I mean, Saccamore is goated with the edits. It's probably why they wanted to pay him double. They wanted that shit so bad. They were on Sycamore's dick. Anyway, Cinder then tries to explain by what she meant by it's just business. She said she understood where Red was coming from. Basically, if everyone had a model by Nano, it would be oversaturated and the value of the model would diminish. But that's literally not how VTuber models work, to be honest, especially since Nano is one person. And Nano even kind of like alters the style a bit based on the client. But she says that she understands that in the VTubing space, you shouldn't push that narrative. And that she does actually like having new model sisters. Unless it's Silvervale, am I right? But she was basically saying it's just business to support Nano's business decision on whether she wants to work with her or not. And that thing she said following was her trying to reminisce, not guilt trip, which low-key sounds like bullshit to me. But now, back when her name was Tashi, she was a pink cherry blossom wolf girl. And when she heard of Silver's Sakura wolf redesign, you pulled back and her and Red brainstormed and came up with Cinder. Cinder did want to be friends with Silvervale, but was also constantly compared to her, which led to her growing resentment. Keep in mind though, Cinder got a buzz. Silvervale was also being compared to Cinder a lot, but Silvervale didn't fucking try to sabotage Cinder at all. Why? Because she's a better person, maybe? Anyway, Cinder even says that Silvervale not really acknowledging her directly irked her.
Is this nigga serious or what?
And having the same model artist would lead to more comparisons, which is why she didn't want Nano to work with Silver. Now, Cinder doesn't remember if her posting her debut announcement the day that Spite debuted was intentional or not. But she says that she was possessive of her design details, and she had her design sheet finished and out in the public for half a year before her 1.0. Now, she states that after she debuted, Spite got an update to her model that more closely resembled her, and without proof, assumed that she just had to have copied her. This would have been great to have a screenshot of, but you know, whatever. She went and told Red about the whole copying thing, air quotes. She says that the outfit with the shorts was just from references she gave to Nano back in June of 2022. The merch art was supposed to have blue fire, it being grayscale was artist's decision, and that the angel and the hoodie like designs were simply coincidences. That's a lot of coincidences. Well, you know, it's whatever. She also addresses the person who approached Spite, who she believes to be Nantells, and that she firmly believes she used her as a reference. She does admit to overreacting and shortly after says sorry, and Nan agreed to change elements of the design. She also does admit to cheating on Red, which is fucking gross. She claims that she just got lost in the sauce because she was a shut-in in like high school or college or whatever, I don't know. But I'm gonna be real, there's no real way you could excuse this little bro. And Rain isn't innocent either, of course, since bro knew she was in a relationship, so shame on Rain as well. She also apologizes to Peaches, aka Vamp Peaches, which is an old friend of Cinder's that she basically dropped and stopped talking to. Now, she then goes on to apologize to people specifically here. In Bao's section, she does admit to seeing her friends as competition and then puts even more blame on Red due to his business mindset. Now, y'all can read all of this yourself. I urge you to, please, at least skim over it yourself. But to me personally, the thing is, it just doesn't make sense, right? Like, okay, if Cinder didn't know about her and Red being the cause of why Bao didn't get her model, why when Bao talked about it and was sad over it, why was Cinder the only one that didn't console her at all? And Bao even noticed this little fucking detail. And you're trying to tell me that you went and talked about your feelings with your man/manager Red, and bro didn't tell you anything about the conversation he is having with Nano about the people you told him about? You had zero clue of what Red was doing as a manager for you? Okay, here's my main takeaway, right? I feel like she was cool with owning up to her feelings when she was upset and when she thought of them as competition, etc. But when it came to the actions that were committed, she seems to want to pile that onto Red. But let me tell you, Shylily wasn't having this shit. She calls out Cinder under the tweet of her apology, and within it she recounts that she has personally experienced some things where Cinder deadass threw her homies under the bus, and even would say things like she wants to live up to what Lily is, or she feels pressure to, or whatever, and basically choosing business in the bag, even if it meant hurting your friends, just to do a V-Card collab that Cinder rescheduled herself to a day that she promised her homies that she will be there for. She then lied to the friend and said that it was Shylily's fault.
Fucking lying. Stop.
I don't know, man. Cinder got cooked. Cinder is literally Cinder's bro. But what are y'all opinion? Again, everything will be in the description for y'all to peruse. I suggest it. and I want to know y'all opinions. And if I missed something or misunderstood something, let me know. Go support those that are affected. It will all be in the description. And oh, also, I don't think Cinder is really gonna like graduate because of this. I think she is gonna take a hit for sure, but she's too big to the point she'll still be successful in a way, you know? She's just kind of at that size, I feel. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, and don't go hating on Cinder.